Hello, race fans and race car fans. Welcome to my channel. It's all about racing. Today we're going to take a look at a Ferrari 458. As you may recall, the last video I did was the Ferrari F430. Well, this is the generation of car that came after the 430, and I was actually told in Daytona this year when talking to an FIA official that when Ferrari originally submitted the plans for the homologation of this particular car to the FIA, they sent it back saying it was way too sophisticated, way too powerful, and they literally had to tone it down. This was a car that was ahead of its time. This particular model is a Fujimi resin collector's edition. It is mounted on a plastic base, and as I mentioned, it is a resin model. It has no moving parts, no opening doors. It's encased in this acrylic jewel case that you can see here. The box is typical of all the Ferraris, of all the Fujimi boxes, the best of which are Ferraris, by the way. Very plain Jane, so to speak. Nothing spectacular about it, particularly compared to the Look Smart, which we're going to be looking at very, very shortly. But you can see the Ferrari logo and the 24 Hours of Daytona on it. I have to correct myself. I keep saying plastic base. These are actually wooden bases. They are painted, just like the Spark models do. They do come with this rather nice aluminum tag that you see here on the front of it. This identifies that this is a 458 Ferrari GT2, or they call it the Italia, competed in the 2011 24 Hours of Le Mans. The car itself is an absolutely beautiful representation of this particular model. This called, I guess you call the Thiriet from Luxury Racing, number 58. And as you can see, as you'd expect with details from this type of car, Michelin tires abound, aluminum wheels, brake rotors, brake pads you can see there. Body shape is just phenomenal. Paint is luxurious. It's bright red. This really doesn't do it the kind of justice it deserves with the camera light bearing down on it, along with white accents. You go to the front of the car, and you can see a big difference between this and the 430. Much more rounded nose. This car was basically a prerequisite of what the 488 was going to look like, which we'll be taking a look at next. You see luxury racing all over the nose, the front splitters there, the beautiful, and I think these are the sexiest headlights that roll back. You've got the fog lights as you typically see on a car that's going to be entered in a long race like the 24 Hours Le Mans. Take a close look at the cabin. Cabin detail is exceptional. You see the emergency pull tab there for the fire extinguisher and the energy compartment. And if you take a look at the mirrors, it has, I don't know, it's got a neat little design on it. They're very dainty mirrors, but very nicely detailed. I think really cool. We'll turn around, look at the passenger side here. Well, no passenger side because there's really no passenger in these cars. But anyhow, there it is, much the same. You do have the fuel tank input there, where they plug the fuel line into. You've got the two aerials on the top. The drivers you have are, let me see, I'm trying to figure out who these guys are. It's Beltone, Volkswagen, and can't read third with my bad eyes. Thiriet. This was a pro entry, so these were all factory pro drivers, respectively, that were in this car. Let's take a look at the back. And, as you saw with the 430, and it's very typical, quite frankly, of these Fujimi cars, beautiful grille work. This is not just painted plastic. Those are plastic inserts. You see the two exhausts angrily sticking out of the back of that thing, the tow hook there. The Ferrari logo, the rain light. Notice the 430 had 4 taillights. With the 458, you just have 2. And that would carry on to the 488, the next car that we're going to look at. Big, huge wing, as you see on all these cars. But what's really neat about the Ferraris, and what I absolutely love about this car, and quite frankly, all the Ferraris up until the 296 of this year, is the exposed engine. There are very few race cars where you can actually see through a window an exposed engine. The Ferrari is one of those, and you can see the prancing horse there right on the top of the manifold. Absolutely beautiful and exquisite engine detail. This really doesn't do it any justice here. There we go. Trying to get a little different light there. You can see that. I mean, just very, very sharp. There we go. Shine some light on it. Now you can see how beautiful the red on this car is when I put a different light on it. But the engine detail is just absolutely exceptional. And I think it's what makes these cars, so unique and so neat. Anyhow, this is our look at the Ferrari 430. I'm sorry, 458, not 430. Let me know what you think, your thoughts, your questions, anything you got. Next up will be the Ferrari 488. Thank you for tuning in, and if you've liked, give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Thanks again.